I want to tell you before it gets dark and we have to strike the set about Norman Schaffer. I told you about Greg Washburn and George Dixon. The third person to go in was Michelle. And Michelle had the 4 tapes to hand in to Norman Schaffer. He wouldn't look at them. Even though Michelle showed clearly that she was a resident of the city of Pittsfield, Norman Schaffer would not do his job and exhibited gross incompetence. And I played you the videotape of Michelle's reaction to that. And George Dixon. The third person to go in was Michelle. And Michelle had the 4 tapes to hand in to Norman Schaffer. He wouldn't look at them. Even though Michelle showed clearly that she was a resident of the city of Pittsfield, Norman Schaffer would not do his job and exhibited gross incompetence. And I played you the videotape of Michelle's reaction to that. And so let's see, then somebody else took one down, Mr. Frank Hale, who had a wonderful story. He got out of Europe in 1939, one step ahead of Hitler. A terrible situation. His father was in a concentration camp at Dockwald, I guess. And yet Mr. Frank Hale came to the United States, bought a cleaning business in Pittsfield that was going under, and made a great success of it. So this is a wonderful story. That's what all the stories on A Chat with Glendora are. They are a struggle, and then they are a success, a happy ending. Well, Mr. Frankel took that down to Norman Schaffer, and Schaffer had the same effect upon Frankel as he did on Michelle and on Dixon and of course he didn't do his job, which was to cablecast it. Here was the resident of the city of Pittsfield handing in his story, and Schaffer missed the boat again. Well, the next one who went down, I think, was Rick Moon. We told you about Rick Moon, so there's 5 failures. And then the next one was the Greystone Gardens. Gloria went down, and again, Schaffer worked his mean spirit and drove Gloria away. Well, so far as I know, Gloria, with new ammunition, is going back, or has gone back. I haven't heard from her. The next one was the First Methodist Church in Pittsfield, where we have another story of a struggle of a man in Costa Rica and coming out of impoverishment, a large family, and yet his mother's faith in Jesus saw him through, and this man married a woman who was true to Jesus, and he ends up at Boston University, and he ends up with a doctorate in theology, and now he's a pastor of the First Methodist Church. So there was another story of a Pittsfield native, a Pittsfield resident, who had overcome struggle and succeeded. Well, the Reverend Dr. Luis Benavides told me that he would give this to Norm Schaffer on Sunday, because Norm Schaffer goes to the First Methodist Church and also does videos from there of the services for the shut-ins, and that Mr. Schaffer would get in touch with me sometime this week, and that being the week of the 26th. Well, Mr. Schaffer didn't. So how many failures do we have? And coming up is an interview that you saw with Jess Rufo about her struggle and her success of having a coffee shop in Pittsfield. And I believe there was another story. Oh yes, a YMCA. I did the tour of the YMCA, which is a wonderful show. That never got on public access in Pittsfield. So we have a story of, I don't know whether it's malice, but it's a story of blocking and of frustration and of incompetence and of ill feeling and unclean spirits. And to this day, the show isn't on there in Pittsfield. And Mr. Schaffer has openly violated the laws of public access. No cable operator can exercise editorial control over public access, and he has as much as said he didn't like the content of a chat with Glendora. So that is a violation of federal, state, and municipal public access law. Now, what else is there? So where does it stand? He's cost me a lot of money in these trips to Pittsfield. I have made 8 of them. 8. Each trip has taken all day. I would say around 10 to 12 hours. So that's about 100 hours there. And they've cost at least, I would say, $600 for gasoline, and I've given out a lot of money there. I've paid a $15 membership fee, which is, you're not supposed to have that in public access. Public access is what it is. It's public. It's not a country club. It's not a membership. It's just open to the public. The public must have access to TV. And I paid out $15 to Rufo. And, oh, yeah, I didn't tell you about Jess Bona, who had such a cute little daughter. She was, I guess she hasn't taken them in yet, but I'm giving them all the application. I filled it out for them. All they have to do is sign it and date it. The so-called application, which is really illegal, is not bad. I'm on 74 TV stations. Most of them require this wrong, illegal procedure of having a local resident. There's no such thing required by the law. And but this application is fairly innocuous. It would never bring anybody any harm. And as long as I've been in public access, which is 37 years, nobody's ever been sued on these grounds or on these bases. Nobody. There's never been a court case on it. So, before I left Pittsfield last Wednesday, which would be October the 28th, I did go to small claims court. And I looked it over, and I got an application for, not an application, but a direction and a guidance how to file a small claims case, even though I know it very well. And I probably won't use that form. I'll probably write a complaint, if I do sue him. And what would I sue him for? Substantive damages. That's all you can sue for in small claims. The money he's cost me, if he had just done what he was supposed to do the first time when I handed in the programs and cablecast them. No editorial control, just cablecast them. That's his job. And I wouldn't have been I wouldn't have had all these costs and all of this money. That's where things stand. I may sue him and I may not. We'll see what Bona comes up with. We'll see what Gloria's second trip comes up with. We'll see what Jess Rufo comes up with. We'll see what Sheldon Baldwin comes up with. I did his career in radio. How a boy or girl should get started in radio. I'll keep you posted. Now, was there anything else to talk to you about? Yes, one thing, and I hope we get it in before dark. Which is coming pretty fast. So my attitude on that is all wrong, I see. I pick up the book by Franklin Buell called Something of Love, and here we have on surmounting trouble. Uneven paths, jagged ledges, fields of nettles, prickly hedges. These are the world's testing places. To find strength, a man embraces. A patient, kindly, loving heart can dilute each poisonous dart. Smooth and soften the rough-edged hour. Put tranquility in power. Okay, he's right. Two other things to tell you, I think, before we leave. Well, I can't find much more to tell you. I guess all that was on my mind as to what was in Joy Book 93 was to say that the Rick Moon experience was a very good experience. It was a good trial and a good test. It was good practice. And the same thing with other people that you see whose beautiful lives are all blocked by unclean spirits, and that what we want is the power to cast out those unclean spirits so that they can uncover their happiness and joy and excitement and love and goodwill and good cheer and peace and exhilaration and revitalization and rehabilitation. That's what we want. So I don't see, as this is such a great thing, this is the close of Joy Book number 73, and it said to read to you on television. It was on page 124. All we want is the power to cast out all unclean spirits. This morning I asked the Reverend Slater, I said, can you help me get that power? Can you help me get that power casting out unclean spirits? He says, you already do. He says, anytime that anybody makes anything better in this world for anybody, you are casting out an unclean spirit. Let's see, what is our hymn? Let's close with a hymn. Boy, it's getting cold out here. This is, after all, November 1st, but I have been watching the Blue Sky Preserver chase away this aerosol. It keeps coming in and keeps coming in, but it loses, and the Blue Sky Preserver is winning. We have almost a complete dome. We have that poisonous, ugly, dirty mess that makes people sick, but it's leaving toward the southeast. It comes in from the northwest. Okay, what's the hymn? May thy rich grace impart strength to our fainting heart, our zeal inspire. Oh, hear us while we pray. Take all our guilt away. Oh, let us from this day be wholly thine. Grace and peace be unto you from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. When you have a Blue Sky Preserver to chase away all that dirty aerosol that's purposely exuded, you get to see the moon. You get to have moonlight coming through your window. I haven't seen any stars so lately. This is the October-November moon. Standard time is 6 o'clock, when really it's 7 o'clock. Or really it wasn't 7 o'clock, and really now it's 6 o'clock. And the concept, did you have the concept? And now, in the midst of putting the titles on the 7 TV shows, November events to be cablecast in December, we are going to show you this beautiful sunshine. This great sunshine. We will walk the estate, kiddies. You want to go for a walk? The kiddies love to go for a walk. And my neighbor is working on his boat. I wonder if he's won a race with it yet. See that blue? Magnificent color. This is the 2nd of November, 2009. Anno Domini. Hello, star of the show. Where are we going for a walk? You're trying to lead me to get you some grass to eat? I imagine. We can't burn anymore. We had such a good time burning. It was the clean thing to do. But New York State walked in and oppressed us. And you want to know the real? They say, oh yeah, all of the poisons it puts in the sky from burning, and yet look what they allow. They allow, not allow, somebody does it, exudes the poison from the jets. 10 times as much pollution. And all on purpose. As a little tiny fire that's so pretty to watch. A little tiny wastebasket fire. But the blue sky preserver, let's take his cap off. His crystals down in there, whatever they are. And then the copper pipe. And the planes that cause the ionization on purpose. Put barium, which is a known poison, into the sky. And along comes the blue sky preserver. And deionizes it. Why do they want ionization in the sky? Why do they keep swishing by, exuding streaks of dirt and poison, which spread out and spread out and spread out until they've covered the sunshine? Why do they do that? And who pays for it? And the skunks and the raccoons do not eat their crackers. Yesterday morning I saw the most beautiful skunk right here on the east acclivity. A beautiful skunk. She was all white, except on her back she had a round ball of black, as pretty as could be. And of course she had a black cap. They always seem to have black caps, as variously as God decorates their bodies. She was so pretty, and then that great big plume, fluffy tail, and it was mostly white, but it was peppered with black. It was salt and pepper. And before I could get the camcorder to give you a picture, she went into the woods. And it's so nice and warm. You want to see the temperature? Okay. Let me show you the temperature. This is to the south. And then, here's a sad tale. Sua sponte, out of the blue, 3 big tall plants began to grow, and they grew so fast. And then I began to recognize what they were. They were corn plants, and they were growing so happily. And how did they start? It must have started from the compost that was put out here to enrich the soil. And they would have completed their cycle. But 29 degrees came and froze them all 3 of them, or rather 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry, corn plants. You're such a beautiful product. No.
We have the ability to do things you like and see them to be fulfilled. That is important. So I enjoy that a whole lot, and that has always been motivating me to succeed or to go forward.
Because it's creative and it's a contribution.
It is a contribution to a great degree, yes.
You betcha. Now, Len Koch, what advice would you give a youngster to get in TV program syndication today?
Hard work, dedication, the ability to start from the beginning, not to think you're better than anybody else. The competition is immense. The competition is strong, but the
of Time Incorporated in Rockefeller Center, and this is Tommy Harris, and he's a controller. Tommy, won't you tell the boys and girls what a controller does?
Well, in the job that I have here, there are several functions. The typical controller function really relates to the accounting piece of what happens in the company.
Okay.
In accounting, it's really looking at transactions, identifying the cost of a transaction and how that affects the company's results.
Oh.
The other pieces of it involve insurance for the company, procuring insurance. I mean, a company has lots of risk. Employees go out every day. They work. We have a cable company, for instance, that's located in Denver, Colorado. These employees go around, they do work at customers' homes, and when they cause damage, I mean, the company is liable for the damage that they cause. So a part of my business is to go out and procure coverage for those risks.
Yeah.
The other thing that I have is, in the controller's job here, is we have a data processing operation.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we've got a computer here, which really is the machinery that we use to do the actual bookkeeping.
Oh, really? To do the
Right.
bookkeeping.
To do the bookkeeping. So that's a very complex operation, but very important.
Yes, and very interesting.
Right, that's right. Elements. And first of all, and it's something that you need no matter what you do if you want to be successful, I think, and that's to get an education. The second thing is to have a commitment in terms of following through on what you want to do. If you have an idea, then you've got to devote time and energy to invest and make sure that you're successful.
Yes, right.
So I think those are really the most important ingredients: education and a commitment to following through.
Well, New York Advisory Group is a full-service financial planning firm.
Oh,
We advise people on how to invest and spend their money.
oh boy, that's good. And you cover everything, I bet. Bonds and stocks and...
Investments, insurance contracts. We do some work with home mortgages,
Do you?
tax preparation.
Yes?
Yes.
Oh, that's great. And where are you located?
We're located in Tarrytown, New York, on
Yeah.
Route 119 by the Marriott Hotel.
Yes, right. That's...
That more attractive to a potential recruiter if they have a good college education.
So that's number one.
Right. That would be the first priority. The second priority would be to research the type of financial services that you would want to get involved in, because financial services entails a lot of different directions. You can get involved in banking, accounting, even law to a certain degree is involved in financial services.
Company.
Yes.
We're a subsidiary. It's headquarters in Tokyo, and we've been in the photographic business, making films and cameras, and now tapes. And
Oh, you make tapes.
yes, we make tapes.
Video.
Videotapes, just like you're using.
Oh, of course you do. I bought a lot of your tapes. You bought a lot of your cassettes.
Right.
Yeah, right. Yes. I was off on another plane thinking about 1 inch. Sure, I bought your tapes. They're excellent.
Thank you.
And cameras. You have Fuji cameras?
Right, we have cameras.
Girls, please, what the most interesting parts of your work are?
I think the most interesting part of the work is that we're creating a product, pictures that everybody uses. I mean, we live in a picture world, and I think our country has developed such a familiar thing that we like to look at pictures, and we carry pictures, and
Yes.
we take a lot of pictures. That wasn't always true, but,
No.
but right now it is. I came down the elevator, and this young lady opened her wallet, and there was about 5 pictures of her boyfriend and various people that she was carrying with them. And so I think people are always going to take pictures and have them in hard copies.
Hi there, folks. We have to do an insert edit. The camcorder got damaged. When the camcorder was sick, it damaged the videotape. And on the videotape were 4 jokes that belong to you. And so we have to do those jokes over because you need all the laughs that you can get. So here's the jokes. Now, this is a maternity hospital, and it's a waiting room. And the nervous new father said to the man next to him, "Here, have a cigar." And the man next to him said, "Oh, congratulations. What is it, a boy or a girl?" And the nervous new father says, "I don't know one cigar from another." Now, have you heard about the gardener's exercise program? Okay, you start out fresh as a daisy, and you end up bushed. Now, Richard Simmons says that swimming will give you a good physique, a good figure. But I'm not too sure about that, folks. Have you ever taken a close look at a duck? Annette said to the taxi cab driver, "Could you back up for 1.5 miles?" And the taxi driver says, "Why?" Annette says, "Because I'm $1.50 short." This is the addition to Glendora Cheerful Look at Life. Now, what do you say we go to interview some more people to tell the children how they started on their careers and how the children can start on such careers themselves today? And girls, I'd like to have you meet Thomas Little, who's with Golan Harris Communications, and of course that was Carmino Cat just about to get fur all over Thomas's pretty new suit. Thomas, tell the boys and girls what Golan Harris Communications is.
Well, Golan Harris Communications is one of the largest public relations companies in the United States.
Wow.
McDonald House.
Tell us where you were born.
I was born in Columbus, Ohio, but raised in Peoria, Illinois.
Peoria,
so I'm
Illinois.
basically a Midwesterner, center, heartland of the country.
And where'd you go to school?
Went to went to high school in Peoria, but then went to school at Northwestern University.
You did? Oh, that's
Evanston,
a good one.
Illinois. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you take? Did you School of Communications?
Well, basically it was. It wasn't called the School of Communications then. It was part of their overall communications area, but it was primarily journalism and primarily advertising.
I see.
In Berlin for the travel and tourism, and so we had we had a couple people down in Washington, D.C. when the mayor of Berlin was here for his annual meeting with President Reagan in the White House, and we set up a bunch of interviews with him. 1 minute we could be working on a new
Thank you, Father, for all of the good things that are going to be happening in the next 60 minutes, not just here under the glass ceiling where we feel your sun and see your sky and hear the birds, but in all of the rooms all over the campus where 1,000 and more are learning and studying and growing and enjoying new friends. This is a fantastic thing you've put together here, Lord. A place of beauty, a place of inspiration, a place of healing, a place to grow, a place to come alive, a place of light, a place that abhors the darkness and welcomes joy. It is happening now. We are better persons for having come here today. Grace, mercy.